And more case 3, I think. Yes, case 3, part 4. But I think it might be part 5 for us. I am not sure. Hi, Ash. Welcome. There we go. Okay. So we are about to start day 2, I think, of the trial, right? I think so. Okay, let's go. So this is what we saw, well, last stream ended with December 30th, 9:41 a.m. Defendant lobby number 5. Hang on a moment. Close that. Close that. Remind me tomorrow. Close that. Okay. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina! How fabulous! My sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did. Mo told me I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on. Or even where she is. It's driving me a little crazy that they pull in these dim-witted, out-of-reality type characters for everything. Like, we had Pearl before, we have her now. I mean, we didn't really have anything on the first case, but then it was us, because we obviously had a concussion. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to you. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo? Top of the morning to you, Governor. Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. Early bird gets the worm. But then again, worms lack higher brain function. Ha 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 ha. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thanks. So how are you today, right? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm gonna face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare. If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. I feel a bit like that as well. You know how I said, if you were here on Monday, yeah, you know how I said I was going to take a sleeping pill Monday night? Well, I did. And then I slept like 20 hours. And then I woke up, watched some TV, went back to bed, and slept another 13 hours or so. And I woke up like 3 hours ago. Something like that. So I'm a little unenergetic. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. Yeah, I've pretty much only slept since Monday stream. That's like the only thing I've done. I barely even ate anything either. But when I went up, when I sat up and I started blacking out, I was like, okay, I need to get something to drink before I actually black out. So I went up to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water, then laid on the kitchen floor for like 10 minutes until I felt like I could get back up for real. So the lesson here is, if you're gonna sleep for a fuck ton of hours, at least drink a lot before and prep drink to have in the bedroom or next to your bed if you don't have your bed in the bedroom. You don't want to have to get up and risk passing out. Okay, let's keep going. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyway, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. So you're not Christian, is what you're saying. December 30th, 10 a.m. District Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Order, order. I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor Gumshoe. Very well, please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. He's like a Disney princess. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Berry Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. What I witnessed, witness testimony. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Oh yeah, Twitch has been having issues. Hang on. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution needs to add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination. What I witnessed. Cross-examination. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Yes. I've forgotten to mention. If you look at the album art or cover art for the thing, he's even actually on the thing. It might just be that case 4 is about Edgeworth. Maybe, possibly, it is. You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. Sorry. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Haha, sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Ow! The witness will proceed with his testimony. Around that time, I heard a large thump from outside the window. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside. I was indeed. Pressing echo doesn't seem to get results. But maybe something was contradicting what he said just now. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. Objection! If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? I really don't, do I? Well, fuck. No. Blah, 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 blah. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if Acro's statement jives with the facts. There's nothing wrong. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window. The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. Or maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. Yes. There's a huge contradiction. Blah, 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 blah. I do this time, actually. The bronze bust. This? What in the world is this? Ow! You just don't get it, do you, Mr. Phoenix? Oh, this is the same I failed thing as before. Blah, 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 blah. We did that one and that one. It was Max Galactic, but I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. When did you start thinking that what you saw wasn't a dream? That's not important. Objection. I believe that the prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness's memory. Just to make sure, let's ask the witness. Ow? Objection. Sustain. Don't sustain that. Acro must be lying about what he saw, right? Of course he is. Now the challenge will be to expose his lies in court. Well, put the pedal to the metal, Nick. Did I press this? I think I did. Yeah, I did. No. Okay. Okay, let's try the bust on this one.
Objection! Take that!
No. Still no. Fine. Okay, what do I have? Okay, bust on that. No. Damn it. Which ones did I do? You saw someone flying. Well, I know I'm supposed to introduce the bust here, but I can't figure out where. Oh, yes. Yes. Hmm. Okay, bust here. I think that might have been what I did already, but you know what? No. Damn it. Yes. Yes. Hat. On... Oh, oops.
Objection!
Hey, Pro Sale. On which one? I think it was Max.
Hold it!
Okay. Here.
Objection! Take that!
You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough a challenge for me. That's a shame because you wouldn't have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Max Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Order, order. As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What will cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? Acro is the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion. Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. Ha 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 ha. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Huh? Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusations? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his clients. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Yes. It's impossible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider possible accomplices. You don't say. Not good, not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes. Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Very well, let's continue. Who, perchance, would happen to be Acro's accomplice? Monkey.
Take that!
You don't say. Uh-oh. This is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? Oh, did you hear that? Hear what? The sound of you getting caught in your own trap. Again, apparently. One splendid accomplice. I'm sure this accusation is built on a solid foundation. Yes, Mr. Wright. Do you have any proof that this person you've accused was indeed an accomplice? Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? This piece of evidence is lacking in persuasive power. You didn't miss that sound, did you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know, the sound of you receiving a penalty. Oh, damn it. I was doing so well. What are you doing, Nick? What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Well, I still think he did. And it's still the monkey. Or Regina. Although she didn't know it. Okay, fine. Let's try Regina. Let's save. Yes. Blah 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 blah. Regina. You don't say. Yes. I do say. Blah blah blah. We just went through this. Yes, the note. No. Okay, fine. He did not have an accomplice. No. Now then, this must be when we hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not gonna sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Order, order. What are you getting at? Wait to keep them on their toes, Nick. I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Barry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, where exactly was Mr. Dingling? He was in his room.
Take that!
He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? And this is when I used the bust. Ha! But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick, if you mess up here. She's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. Well, I do have a save. I'm gonna present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Barry? What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-sized, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Really ample bust. Order, order. So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster. A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in the wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit.
Objection!
How could could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible.
Objection!
Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bus. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away from things. Ow? I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix writes. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? Von Karma? She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. Is that really how ruse is spelled? In this case? It doesn't look right to me. Fine.
Objection!
It is wrong? Ha! Swede chick wins again over whoever designed this or translated this case. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't you see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Acro's physical states. Ha! I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking at the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to this witness testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion of on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Oh, I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. Acro's physical state, cross-examination. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or something. Thank you. Very true. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix writes. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean Nick. Whoa. How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out the window. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not have been able to see out below the window. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I know we skipped one there. If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way that I can land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Acro is strong enough to lift up the bust. The main problem is how he could have aimed right for the ringmaster's head. I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster. That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you've got. I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits precisely with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. But maybe we overlooked something. Okay, so which one was it I skipped? This one. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. Okay, I guess I did do that one. No, wait. Hang on. This one. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there is no way I could have would have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point. Hey Nick, what if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Akron knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. Well, we can, because he dropped the box. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Okay. No, that's not the button I meant to push. Present the box. I think this is the right space. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No! Yes! Order, order, order. This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow! Ow! Ow, ow, ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. It's heavy. The weight of the box. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you would have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool. Yeah, you are, girl. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how could I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? Well, you did just say that money can carry it. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yeah, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened, once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room? Well, a monkey isn't, an accomplice of sorts. Okay, let's... Oh, I can't say that. A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. He looks angry. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Arrgh! Acro? Money is a strong monkey, right? It would be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. Yes, platinum is shiny. We like platinum. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order, order. I said order. Miss Von Karma. Where is the bust in question at this moment? Yes, I like shining platinum trophies too. I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. Let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow. Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were 2 people at the scene of the crime. No, there was a victim and a bust. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? The bust? He saw Max's... Ow? I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette, but he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot, who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Oh, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That would be... the bust itself. It got caught because the ringmaster was wearing it. Well, how do I... Yeah, fine. Let's go with this. I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? So then how did this person get a hold of the cloak? Well, furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because this person was not spotted at the scene. I'm sorry. Well, damn. Okay. That was... Okay, we do have a save. Now I just need to remember what we did. Continue. Yes. Yes! He did not have an accomplice. Okay, what was I doing? Okay. He was in his room. We already did all of this. Now I just need to remember it. Can I please just get to the... Okay. Is this when I presented the bust? I think it is. Yes. Blah 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 blah.
Objection! Objection!
And now, how was his health? Blah 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 blah. Well, this is when we used the box on the final one. At least we know that. Percent.
Objection! Objection!
Okay. We are almost back. That's nice. Both size and weight are correct there. As long as you don't take what's in it. Oh, you Disney princess motherfucker. Yeah. We know how the box got there. Bust, sorry. Monkey. Yes.
Objection! Objection!
Okay, where were we? This is almost where we were. And now I save again. That's the, yes. I don't need to save again. There we go. So who did put the who was the murderer? It was the bus.
Objection! Objection!
Okay, now we save. Yes. Yes.
Objection!
So who put the cloak on the bust? Let's go with the ringmaster. Hi! We're back to being caught up. The ringmaster put the cloak on the bust. Fool him? You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would have been the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Mike. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint, anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben Ventrilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Ackroyd took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, the cape flew off and landed on it. You just wait a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged on the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. Making it look like Max flew away fantabulously. And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky came to be. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with us, with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. You know, your whip isn't actually part of the crime. Your whip isn't even part of the courtroom. Your whip is a weapon. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I hear them, fucker. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there is still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourself. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs up your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. The hat? Right? Because Mo says he saw it with the hat. Well, I did just say. The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction. Remember what that ventriloquist said in court. He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged on the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude toward the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Well, he didn't know who he was killing. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Oh, finally. Proper save point. Yes, I do want to save. Yes, no lunch. Never lunch. December 30th, 2:17 p.m. So they worked through lunch. District Court, defendant lobby number 5. I can't believe it. Acro? It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is, and to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jeebus, am I that hated? Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose. He did? Psst, psst. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know. But you're not, which is kind of the reason why. Hey, pal. You're gonna ignore me after I went to all this trouble to bring you some evidence. Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Ah, forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways. No, Detective. I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a bit? We got some really tasty milk. How about a card trick, Detective? Ha ha ha. Well, if you insist. Now, about that evidence you mentioned. What is it? Here you go. Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room. Yep, and I've included the forensic results. Take a look at it later. Won't Miss Von Karma be mad that you're doing this? That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Look, details are on a need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything. Everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. I don't know. Miss Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set into motion. Final plans? Uh-huh. That reminds me, I've got a message from the prosecutor to you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end. That's it. And that's it for me too, pal. I'm out of here. Outies. What did he mean by that, the very end part? Who cares? What's this? bat's scarf, stained with his blood and a small quantity of pepper. What was it? Someone knew. Oh, Mo said that the animal smiled, but that was because he was about to sneeze. But Regina gave him the scarf. And he put the note in Regina's pocket. So he tried to kill Regina, but she was too dumb to realize it. I'm not sure. It was all pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Ah, don't scare me like that. It looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendants. What? For me? It's milk. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it all before it spoils. An entire dairy's worth of milk for me? Aww. December 30th, 2:27 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now back in session. Miss Pankarma, please continue from where you left off. Yes. A lot of milk. I want milk. I want hot chocolate. I'd like to continue with Akro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Akro would have to commit this crime. Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony. Finally, we get to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. About the ringmaster witness testimony. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the Very Big Circus, Russell Berry, took us in and became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. You're such a thoughtful young man. As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Akro would kill the man he held in such esteem. You are absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for cross-examination, is there? Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Akro kill the ringmaster? This might be my last chance to answer that question. Of course I'll cross-examine it. The defense has a right to cross-examine the witness. You're so tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You don't care about justice, do you? You just want to fabricate a motive. Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine the witness. About the ringmaster. Cross-examination. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. We? Yes, my brother Sean and I. What? You have a brother? How old were you when this happened, Akro? I was 8 years old and my brother was 4. Your parents were very cruel, weren't they? Nowadays, we aren't bitter about what happened to us, because it allowed us to meet the wonderful people at the Very Big Circus. Nick, the judge is getting misty-eyed. He's got a soft spot for sob stories, it looks like. Ow! No crying in court, let's keep going. The witness may proceed with his testimony. That's when the ringmaster of the Very Big Circus, Russell Berry, took us in. How would you describe your relationship with the ringmaster? He was like an uncle, a father, and a big brother, all rolled up into one. The ringmaster and my brother were the only family I had. What about the other people at the circus? This was over 15 years ago. Back then, there were very few customers coming in, so no one really had the time to look after us. They were worried about other things. But the ringmaster, he would always come see us with a laugh and a smile. What a beautiful story. That's why I was always thinking of what I could do to help. I wanted to thank him. Nick, isn't Acro such a wonderful person? I know, he seems like a nice guy, which is what makes this so difficult. So then how long have you been a performer? I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. You started off as an acrobat at that early of an age? I begged the ringmaster until he finally agreed to let me do it. Ever since then, I've been in incredible physical shape. That's also when I decided to form a group with my brother. We called ourselves the Flying Dinglingberries. Well, it's nearly a household name. I've even heard of them in Germany. Liar. The point is that I wanted to be of some use to the circus. You are truly a remarkable young man. The judge kept looking at Acro almost like a proud father. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. Did you ever have any trouble with the ringmaster? How could you ask such a thing, Mr. Phoenix writes. Do you have some sort of fundamental misunderstanding of this witness's testimony, or the heartfelt emotion contained within? You better think about this, Mr. Phoenix writes. You better think hard. Ow? Ow, ow, ow! No matter how you look at it, there's no way I could see this witness ever taking the victim's life. Ow? Exactly. I've been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor. Nick, I hate to say it, but I agree with him. I was trying to chase down the truth, but I ended up just looking like a jerk. I think that will be enough for now. Pondering whether or not this man would kill the ringmaster leads me to believe that it is pretty unlikely. Exactly right, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. I would just like to know, can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the ringmaster dead? Let's save here. No. Let's go with no. Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the ringmaster at all. Ow? Your foolish attempt to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish. Did you forget you made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was, this is the real killer of Russell Berry, ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro? You didn't plan to kill the ringmaster at all, did you? The ringmaster wasn't your target that night. What did you just say? I'm saying that the target of this witness's murderous plot was not the ringmaster. Because it was never his intention to kill Russell Berry to begin with. What? Order, order. Bailiff, I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face, twice if you must. Yes! Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to my corpse? Ow! Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to his corpse? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? Well, yes.
Take that!
This is, ow! This is, ow! My, ow! There's 14 more where that came from. Hold it right there. You can take your time with the other 14 later. But for now, let me see that evidence once again. I'm so scared of what will happen. I can't even move to give him the evidence. Oh. That was the wrong thing? He asked you for something. Where are your manners, Mr. Wright? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? I did just save. No? Okay. So that was wrong. Well, fine. Okay. We don't have much to redo this time. Yes. We can't. The ringmaster wasn't the target. Show some evidence. Yes, we are. The scarf? Regina? The lion? What's the right thing here? I legit don't know. Let's go with Regina. Regina Berry? This young girl is the ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro? You were really aiming for her that night, weren't you?
Objection!
You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question.
Objection!
He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is you're wrong. That's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Enough, Mr. Wright. Allow me to... Ow? The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. Well, we can have that arranged, you know. Huh? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence, now. I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. Alright, Mr. Wright. At this point, the only thing that's important is evidence. Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry. Present evidence that proves that Acro was out to kill this young girl. Okay, I guess now's the note. Acro, you remember this, don't you? It's a piece of paper that we found inside the ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m. So you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? Yes, but there's just one little problem. Problem? Acro did indeed place this note into someone's pockets. However, that someone was not the ringmaster. You mean it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. Order, order, order. Mr. Wright, this little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her. Which is why, the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, I mean the ringmaster, saw the note? That's correct. The ringmaster ended up in that plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake, instead of Regina. That's incredible. Remember the testimony that Akko gave us earlier today. Lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. If I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. Akko had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I've got it. Akko thought it was Regina down in the plaza. And that's when he let the bust fly. Hey, Nick? Isn't Regina listening to all this from the audience? She is. Unfortunately, it's only gonna get harsher from here. I hope Regina can handle it. Akko wrote this note to Regina. Foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas for foolish tomfoolery. You're so foolish you've even made me sound like a foolhardy fool. I was about to say Tom Hardy fool, because I have Tom Hardy on the brain. Very well, Mr. Phoenix, right? If you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Yes, what about that line? Okay, let's save. Yeah. Well, if the note was meant for Regina Barry, it would mean that this note is declaring that Regina Barry is a murderer. You just don't get it, do you? What? What did you just say? The ringmaster knew what that note meant, which is why he went to the plaza in place of his lovely daughter. Hold right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. An incident occurred 6 months ago, and now I am more than ready to show the court what happened at that time. Moron. Wait, are you sure that it relates to the present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. Well then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that question, the judge is gonna think I'm bluffing. You know, let's save again. Even though we saved like 2 minutes ago. The conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago is actually... What? This is it? Well, I kind of figured that I'd try to get rid... Oh, no. No. God damn it. Good thing I saved. So the conclusive evidence is... The conclusive evidence is the salt shaker? Pepper shaker, I mean? The lion. It's not the scarf. And if it's evidence, it can't be a person. Could be the pepper shaker. Well, it must be the pepper shaker because the pepper shaker was in the box.
Take that.
Yes, that's me fake sneezing. What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? Recall that the victim was trying to take the wooden box away with him. He was doing so because this piece of decisive evidence is what was inside. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright, so what exactly are you saying? Are you claiming Regina Barry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account. Sorry. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw. Foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Who was Regina Barry's intended victim? Why would you want to kill him? I guess she was trying to kill him. Who is this? That is Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead. Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead. Regina, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into his current comatose state. A lion? Miss Regina Barry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not in her. So then what happened to Acro's brother? He's not the victim of an attempted murder, he's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? No. The lion biting Bat was no accident after all. What? You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There's no way that Regina could ever incite her lion to attack another human being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother Bat. With the fucking scarf. Now, please. That's just a scarf. Acro? This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who is the one that gave the scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him. Regina? There's something more than just blood on the scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper? Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering a criminal. Well, excuse me. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Miss Barry gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that? It still seems like the judge just doesn't get it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Huh, smiling. The lion was smiling? Right before Bat was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed and it looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? I've never heard of them smiling. However, lions sneeze. Leon wasn't trying to bite a bat. Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. Kinda gruesome, though. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. What? Yeah. You fool! You've got to be kidding me. What's the matter, Miss Von Karma? I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory, you believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed during the pepper, and that's when Bats lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke, as he put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. You foolish idiots. Ha. Ha 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 ha. It almost does seem like a terrible joke, doesn't it? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. Think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true? Acro? You can't mean witness? Are you confirming the defense's claim, Mr. Wright? Unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? Same problem as it's always been. Evidence. I dropped Max's bust on top of the ringmaster. Where is the evidence that proves that claim? You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof, to be more precise. The murder weapon. The bust that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. The bust. Nick, you've got to do something. This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. The defense requests to search the room of the witness, Ken Dingling. What is it now? It looks like you still haven't figured things out, have you? By now you must know the meaning of Von Karma total justice. You mean... Ow? Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acro would not be here as a witness. But to put a point to it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright, the bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise. We took Acro directly to the prosecutor's office after that. End of story. Just wait a second, something's funny about all this. Ha 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 ha! It looks like you lacked the final nail to put in my coffin. But what about the scarf? What about the notes? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the only evidence that is relevant here is that which pertains to the death of the ringmaster. You should know that by now. Oh! Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bust, where is it now? Where's the bust right now? You're Phoenix Wright. You know where that bust is. I'm sure you do. There's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where that bust is? It seems this case is coming to a close. The defense's counter-arguments look to have fallen short. Thank you for your support. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I think that brings to an end the cross-examination of this witness. Hold it! Who's objecting? Maya? Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue. Huh? What? You need time to do what? Ow! Why are you the most surprised person here? She is your aide, isn't she? Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? Well, are you asking me? The rest is up to you, Nick. Good luck. Hey, wait, you can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro's lived its life up until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose. Very well, the defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope of logic, there's no time for a false step. Sink or swim, the only way through is forward. I'm gonna save again. Save. Yes. The murder weapon. Where is Max's bust now? Somewhere in the lodging house? Somewhere in the Bigtop? Or somewhere in this courtroom? Well, his wheelchair is awful big. It's obvious the bust is inside this very courtroom. It's obviously where? Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. The witnesses stand. Acro? I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket, because it seems to me that it would be real easy to say, hide a bust under there? Ha 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 ha. Once again, your pretense for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you can laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bust is under there. We all know that you can't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Pankarma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it, in the only place that you could hide it. Under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Would you please remove the blanket from your lap? Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played. You fool! How could you? Yes, indeed, how could we? I don't know who you is, but how could we? You got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, two of them. Two of them. Miss Francisca von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? There were two pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under this wheelchair. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of court hiding the murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So you got me. Well done, Mr. Wright, and well done, Miss Von Karma. It all makes sense now. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. She did not. She had no fucking clue. You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. I know I sure couldn't. I can't believe it. Me, make a mistake. Why did I order a surprise search of your room? Only I hadn't done that. It seems we've finally arrived at the truth. Acro? Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of the Very Big Circus, Mr. Russell Barry? Yes, Your Honor, I'm responsible for that crime. Acro. All my brother wanted was for Regina to like it. That's why he'd tease her. One day my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it would be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scarf with pepper. I know she didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her, no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believes in that so purely that she would laugh innocently when saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. That's when you decided to do something about Regina. How dreadful. So are you saying that you're a victim in all of this as well? No, that's not what I mean. I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first, I thought I'd kill myself. Then I pondered giving myself up. But I couldn't just up and leave. I just couldn't. Not yet. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah. This has been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. I'm an idiot. I can't believe it. You beat me again. Yes, all the crying emotes. Phoenix. I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Not guilty. For Max, that is. This court is adjourned. December 30th, 4:27 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the Ringmaster, Regina, and Bats. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh? That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to. Many congrats, but only at max a million of them. Thank you. What's with the vibe in this room? I'm just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever and never be happy. Huh? She's been like this for a while now. Sweetie pie. They're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Regina? Mr. Wright? Tell me something. What do you want to know, Regina? Acro said something right at the end. I just couldn't believe it. Does that mean that Acro... is he gonna try and get his revenge on me? I don't think so. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina. Are you sure? You're really sure I can believe that? Yeah, Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore. If that's true, then I want to see some evidence. Huh? I want to know you're not just making that stuff up about Acro not wanting revenge. Okay, what's the evidence? Well, I don't fucking have any evidence, do I? about this. Now, do you understand? There's no need to worry. No one ever tells me the truth. No one ever tells me what's going on. Looks like I made a mistake with that one. Poor Regina. Hey, Max? What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. What a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? That's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Huh? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is sticking together. Staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I made a decision. What is it? I decided that I will take over as the new ringmaster. I'll turn this circus into the best circus the world has ever seen. The best circus the world has ever seen. Don't laugh. It's quite the goal. Yay, I can't wait. Then I guess that changes things. Huh? There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means that this circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max? Let's work together and make our circus super fabulous. What do you say, big guy? Oh, no, or yes, sure. He wants revenge? And then the scarf? Or the notes? I mean, we can go back and do that. So yeah, feel free to tell me. I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Oh, Bat's profile. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me. What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We got to work together to make the very big circus bigger than it's ever been. Mo's right, sweetie pie. It can't be the very big circus without Regina Berry. Max. Nick. It seems like everything is going to turn out alright here. I can't wait to go see the best circus the world has ever seen. We'll save you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm going to order special whip-occasion seats. Ha 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 ha. And on that note, I think we're done with case 3. I see. What made the case? Yesterday's surprise raid, it really paid off, just like you said it would, sir. You had it all figured out, didn't you? It was just a theory. If Acro really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Who is he talking to, do we think? Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Acro's case, you need not worry. I plan to personally stop by the chief prosecutor's office as soon as I get back. Understood, sir. I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Episode 3, Turnabout Bigtop, the end. Look who isn't dead! Trophy earned, Turnabout Bigtop. A brand new episode has been added. Farewell, my turnabouts. Save progress, yes. So we're gonna save that there. Yes. Back. So now we are first gonna see what the next one is about. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, who will be this year's Grand Prix champion? Who will be our hero of heroes? Will it be the last year's runner-up, Jam and Ninja? Or maybe Captain Saipan all the way from the tropical island? I see all the certainties of it. Okay, you know, I can't keep up with this. I am not pushing any buttons here. I just can't keep up. The winner of the 3rd annual Hero of Heroes Grand Prix is me! Whoa! The true hero of the night has appeared in our midst. It looks like this year's Grand Prix goes to this fantastic warrior. The Nickel Samurai. Too bad, Jamin and Yell. Looks like the title eluded you again this year. March 20th. So almost 3 months later. Gatewater Hotel, Viola Hall. Alright, Jess. Did you hear that, Nick? Did you? The Nickel Samurai, he did it. Yeah, he sure did. I'm getting too old for that. Okay. So, I don't know who the murderer is. I don't know who the murder victim is. We are gonna go back to this. And we're gonna see what happens when you choose the right thing for Regina. Courtroom. Thank you. So is it yes or no? For Bat? Or for does he want revenge? The witness stand. Okay. Thank you. So we are just gonna click through this because you just saw this. And she's very upset with herself. Blah blah blah, 2 pros. They're all very smart. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Yes, he murdered him. Blah 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 blah. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm clicking a lot more than I need to, but I just want to get through this. Okay, I'm gonna try to hide the tapping. Boo-hoo, 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 blah blah blah, boo-hoo. Boo. I don't think it matters if we get the true cutscene there or not, but I like getting it. Well, I'm covering my hand when I'm tapping. So I was trying to mute it. Okay. 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 Okay, this is what we needed. We don't think he's gonna get revenge. He's not gonna do that to Regina. Are you sure? Are you really sure? I can't believe that. Yeah, Acro doesn't have desire for revenge anymore. If that's true, then I want to see some evidence. Huh? I want to know you're not just making that stuff up about Acro not wanting revenge. So, Bat's profile. Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. Bat. That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. I never knew. Now that Acro's been caught. Uh-huh. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes. Until he opens his eyes. And until he can meet Acro again. That's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max? What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. So this is the thing we saw. We just saw the happy ending. Blah, 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 blah. And the new case is coming any moment. Any moment now. Any moment now. Any moment now. So this is, I don't actually need to click. It was just a theory. If Acro really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, Detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Acro's case, you need not worry. I plan to personally stop by the Chief Prosecutor's office as soon as I get back. Understood, sir. I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Episode 3, the end. But yes, I'm gonna save again with a good ending. So that is here. Yes. And on that note, we've seen the start of the next case. I know it's only been just over 2 hours, but we are done for today. Thank you for hanging out. Friday will be the Control DLC and some other general Control stuff that I haven't streamed. I hope to see you then. Have a good one. Bye.